Welcome, everybody, to day 2 of the Great Reset. Joining us is Jared and Lau, super coaches from Costa Rica. I am in Texas today in my yoga room. So hopefully after this, I can go do some yoga. All right, this is going to be, this is a real brass tacks. I actually kind of prefer to talk about motivation and stuff in mindset. But at the end of the day, we got to get people rolling. And I think the food combinations is the biggest thing. So let me just say this over the years, so you don't go, Ashley's a poser. I mean, I have probably done every type of nutritional program. And I'm one of those people that I want to see it. I want to do it. I want to see how I feel before I talk about it. So this is the way that I have been eating over the past 8-9 months, Jordy too. And we both are literally we feel better than we ever have. It's almost like when you feel quote unquote good and you look halfway decent, you're like, okay, I'm healthy. But this is, I'm just going to say it is next level shit. So I have rounding out next year, I'll be 52. It's like we really are excited about our age and what we're able to do. And I'm actually looking into 2024 going wow, I have the real potential to accelerate because it's like some obstacles have been removed. So before we dive into the food, I just wanted to say that this is something that's gonna flip the script on the way that you eat. So do you guys have any things about mindset or resistance that you want to go into first, or do you want to jump into the microbiome?
Wow, that's a great question.
I was gonna say, Jared, you're the mindset person. Give us your mindset.
I would just say for everyone that's here, you're here for a reason. There's something that triggered you or got you to participate in this. So all I'm saying is if you're in a situation where year after year, you put these beautiful New Year's resolutions and within week 2 or 3, you already throw them to the wayside, this is your chance to make that change. You've got an amazing team. Ashley's team, we're here to support you. I would say you have all the tools at your fingertips right now. So let's make this year and have that opportunity and really follow through on these changes that you want to see in your life. So,
and this is eating for life. I feel like this, I don't even want to say program, this awareness, and we put it into a program to make it consumable, but it is a way of life. And it is easy to do this. It is not that hard. Once you make the shift, Jordy and I are not oh, next year we're going to try raw vegan, or next year we're going to do keto, or next year we're going to do this. We are literally we have found something that is so flexible that it really allows us to eat things that we love. And it's just putting it together differently. So let's go, since you're the doctor here, Laura, let's talk about microbiome, because actually I know at a personal level, it was an issue for you. And I don't think that people know that it starts with our tonsil. All these things that we think don't do anything, they're super important. So let's just talk about what it is and why it's important. And then we'll go into the food combinations.
I would say that everybody on earth that is living this lifetime has some sort of microbiome issues, even if you're aware or not, because of the type of food we're normally consuming. The microbiome means micro, like tiny, bio, life, something that has life. So the microbiome refers to all the bacteria that lives in our body, pretty much in the digestive system. It refers specifically to the digestive system, which starts from the mouth to the bottom, to the last of your digestive system, where you eliminate all that is the digestive system. Sometimes we think it's just the stomach, or sometimes we think it's just the gut. No, everything from the
I'm hearing a lot about gut bacteria, and it's like nails on the chalkboard. I'm like, oh, it's so much more than that, right?
It is, but also it's so interesting that we have more bacteria or bacteria cells, because it's one cell, than the actual body cells we have. There are more bacteria than anything. Pretty much. The thing is that they're all living in specific areas, and they're also in charge of properly digesting food. So that's why people talk about good bacteria and bad bacteria in relation to gut health, is because when you don't eat the proper foods, then the bad bacteria thrive. But what you want to do is actually feed the good bacteria so they can help digest, and the nutrition and the absorption of nutrients actually happens in your gut. So it's as simple as that. Is there
What happens when it's not balanced? I sure as hell could speak to this, but at a scientific level, what happens when we have either overgrowth or too much bad or even too much good? What happens?
When we have excess of bad bacteria, for example, talking to this in the same words that the book speaks, there's not gonna be an adequate digestion of the food. So if we think about it, then we're not gonna be able to give the nutrients that the body needs. So we have that aspect in a really in bad situation, no nutrition. The other thing is the bad bacteria will produce excess toxins because the cells have their own metabolism. So there's going to be more production of toxins. And guess what? We have less nutrition, more toxins.
And so let me tell you, ladies out there, men who are doing this, how this manifests is that you eat healthier and healthier and healthier, and you get fatter and fatter and fatter. That is definitely one of the ways. I know that is what happened to me. It was like I was not absorbing food. And so my body in one way was starving and storing fat. And then, you're just getting a toxic overload. So if anyone out there has if you're the person telling your friends and your neighbors and whoever, I cannot believe how well I eat and I just cannot lose weight, microbiome would be the number one place that I would go and look. I feel like that's an epidemic. I mean, 78% now of Americans are obese. And it's well, here's why, even if they're trying, so I think that that's going to be a really important part of teaching these food combinations, because what we're giving you in this program, and it does come from the book, is what the body can handle in one sitting. We have just taken general foods and put them into their general categories. Okay. So just so you know, somebody might be like, okay, an avocado is a fruit. Okay, let's not go there. We want to make it as simple as possible. And the way that we're coming at it is from what is the food group nutritionally versus how it's grown or something like that. So loosely, you're going to have your proteins. And even if you're a vegetarian, there are things that you can do in the proteins. I personally eat meat and have animal protein, eggs, fish, things like that. So in general, that's your protein. Then we have our vegetable category. And I just really encourage everybody to, we may have some super lay people that still think corn is a vegetable. Mainly your green vegetables is what we want to go after. I'm down with a carrot, but anything that's any type of potato or whatever, that is just not a vegetable. So again, we're going to give you a list, so don't worry about that. And then we have our fruits, and then we have our fats, and then we have our carbohydrates. Just know that you're probably looking at the food list and going well, where are the cookies? So we've already made it where the entire diet is whole foods. Just quickly, I'm going to let you guys explain what is a whole food.
I think the best way of explaining it, because people talk about whole foods and what is that?
I know people think Whole Foods is the store.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much something that is or is as close as nature as possible. Is the type of food pretty much when you pick something from the tree and it's unchanged. No, it didn't go to an industry or a facility to strip away things and to put things inside. And
I heard somebody say if you could have eaten it 200 years ago, then it's probably a whole food.
Exactly. Something that the most clear example of something that is not whole foods would be, for example, white sugar. Why? Because it comes from sugar cane. They process it. They strip away even the color, all these things, and they put stuff in that, and they call it enriched. Also like flowers, white flour.
Actually, if anything says enriched, just stay away from it.
Because it means
I'm going to give you the food pairings in the easiest possible way, because I think most people, and if you just go to a restaurant, most meals are prepared with a vegetable, a carbohydrate, and a protein. And you're never going to do that again. I'm going to start with the big ones and then we can talk about fats and fruits. But the big thing that you're not going to do anymore is you're not going to pair a protein and a carbohydrate. And the reason you're not going to pair a protein and a carbohydrate is that they use different digestive enzymes and it's a different processes. And if you do it at the same time, your microbiome goes Say what? Okay, that's as simple as I can put it. So everyone that was going to do salmon, rice, and broccoli, which is be one of my go-tos, you are now going to do salmon and broccoli, or you're going to do rice and broccoli, but you are not going to do all three. Now, when you change those pairings, I mean, Jordy and I literally get everything out and we'll go, okay, am I going the carbohydrate route or am I going the protein route? For me, I almost always choose protein. I love the protein, vegetable, carbohydrate. Also, that's like my blood type and some other things. But he likes the carb type a lot more. He'll sit down and do like a real Costa Rican, he'll do like the sweet potato and lentils, and he's good with that. Me, I'm like, give me the salmon and the salad. Let's go. Okay. So that's your biggest thing. Then the next thing is, along with either one of those options, protein and vegetable or carb and vegetable, you can have a good fat. And there ain't many. Okay. Good fats is pretty much avocado, nuts, and good oils, right? Whole oils. When you look at it in the most simplistic terms, it's not that you can't have something, you just can't have it at the same time. And we use a 2-hour window. So for instance, if Jordy is having sweet potatoes and I'm like, that looks good, but I'm doing the salmon and salad, I can have sweet potatoes. I just need to eat them 2 hours, or I need to have it for dinner or something like that. So I think psychologically, it's so easy to do this because it's not like there's tons of restrictions. It's just more about weaving it into your day. Fruits are eaten separate. Was that shocking to you guys?
No.
Really?
We know this from a while, and it's a really common thing.
Yeah, I'm like, where have I been?
Well, it's not something that is openly talked, because this comes from Ayurveda, actually.
Yes.
Ayurvedic medicine. They started with the Ayurvedic food combinations, and it's not very popular because people wants to mix.
Oh, they want their vegetable, carb, protein. Well, no, for me, a little while, it was a little weird from a texture standpoint, to go this way. So, okay, we're going to get a little long on the video. I could talk about microbiome all day, but again, I just want to make sure everybody gets started. Yes, you're going to screw up. You're going to accidentally put something together or whatever, but at the end of the day, just keep it as simple as possible. Take your food list that we're giving you and go to grocery, farmer's market, wherever you can, and start to just reorganize your food. And when you look at your menu, the way that we designed it was just to say breakfast is going to be either smoothie, and then we just say lunch is like vegetable, protein, fat. And then we give meal inspirations where if you're just like, I need somebody to tell me what to do. But I really do encourage you just to go and get things that are on that general shopping list. And then you can decide, are you in a carbohydrate mood, or are you in the protein mood? Do you want salmon? Do you want steak? Are you just feeling some brown rice or whatever? So I think, again, this is going to be one of those things y'all are going to get tons of questions. Can I pair this? Can I pair that? But just know that the whole purpose of doing these combinations is to settle down that microbiome. And the microbiome really is, I mean, people are calling it the second brain, but it may even be more of the first brain in terms of the autonomic nervous system, meaning it is what triggers every single other thing to happen. So I feel like it's almost like, remember when COVID happened and we just left it alone for a little while, and all of a sudden we've got dolphins in Venice and whatever. That's what we're trying to do with our microbiome. We are trying to give our microbiome a break from all the things that we have done that it really has been having a hard time to do, and get it back to as close to nature as possible. And this will do it. You will not feel ever again full. It feels content, but you don't have bloating. And I think people are so used to being bloated that they think that that's normal. I would have called that feeling full, and it's not. Now when I do it, because of course I cheat from time to time. I had a kolache in Texas, which is basically white sugar flour bread and a hot dog inside. It's disgusting. Your digestion is completely different. So, I like that. I like that kind of reminder, like, wow, I really am doing something amazing every day. So I encourage everybody to jump on this, and we'll see you back here for day 3. Moving into day 3, we're going to dive into fascia's role in the intestines. And you're going to really be shocked because the intestines are largely made of fascia. And when we talk about absorbing through the intestinal wall, what do you think it is? Fascia. So we'll see you back here for day 3.